I am Haley Gray, and I'm the founder of the Women's Entrepreneur Network. And I promised y'all I would be going live every night. And today I got my dumbass award and I broke my other glasses and I tripped over my feet in the parking lot and stopped my fall with my face um, on a curb. So, pardon the black and blue and looking like I got in a fight because my face kind of does feel like I got in a fight. But we're showing up because we're being visible. And I swore I would do it. And so, what we need to do is talk tonight about what I learned about sales from Girl Scout cookies. And, you know, Girl Scout cookies has been kind of a thing in our house. My youngest daughter um, actually was selling Girl Scout cookies from first grade all the way through 12th grade. And she saw her older sister doing it. And as a kindergartner, she was a daisy. And she's like, why can't I sell cookies? Because daisies aren't allowed to sell Girl Scout cookies. And I'm like, okay. So first grade rolls around and she's like, I'm going to sell Girl Scout cookies. And I'm like, great. I'm sitting here thinking in my head, you know, as mom going, oh yeah, we're going to sell a couple of 100 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. Oh no. This child decides that she's going to sell 500 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. Now, honey, don't be ridiculous. Nobody sells 500 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. Well, and of course, I have not one, but I have two daughters. And thankfully, the rest of my children are boys, because I don't know if I could deal with all of them getting into a contest on this. And she, sure enough, as a first grader, sells 589 boxes. And in case you all are wondering, did mom sell them for her? No. Her sister sold over 600 boxes. So what we did was we would box them up and we would go do Girl Scout cookie booths with other adults and other parents. So you have to split the cookies and do all the things. So people would come up to her at a cookie booth and be like, so how much is a box of Girl Scout cookies? And she'd be like, $3.50. Well, how much is 2 boxes of Girl Scout cookies? That'll be $7. Well, how much is 3 boxes? That's $10.50. So it taught me a lot about math. It taught us a lot about inventory. Well, if we go to this store here, people are more likely to buy these kinds of cookies. And if we go to this store over here, then people are going to be buying these kinds of cookies. And if we do this, then we're going to do that. And if we go to, you know, these types of places, and they learned a lot about counting out the cookies at the beginning and then counting the money. And then, you know, there was always that thing about upsells. Would you like to donate your change to Operation Cookie Drop? And this went on. The next year, my youngest daughter's like, well, I'm going to sell 900 boxes of cookies. And I'm like, okay, oh, Lordy, my goose is totally cooked. I'm in trouble now. And of course, my oldest goes, well, if she's going to sell 900 boxes, I'm going to sell 908 boxes. And I don't know where in the heck 908 comes from. But as you can probably imagine, we spent a lot of very quality time at cookie booths. And I'm like, okay, are we done yet? No. We haven't reached our goal. Okay, so how many boxes are we going to sell? So we went to the state fairgrounds, to the flea market, and we sold lots and lots of Girl Scout cookies. And ended up that one of them ended up just over 1,200 boxes of cookies, and the other one ended up just over, I think, 1,100 boxes of cookies. Fast forward to the next year, and so on and so forth. And, you know, the girls get older, and when they're little bitty, people will come up to them, you know, much more willingly. Would you like to buy a box of Girl Scout cookies? You know, and they learn to be persistent and ask, because not everybody's going to buy cookies from you. And there's going to be a lot of grumpy people. And it's just like any ordinary real life sales situation, right? So they get older and they are like, well, do you want to buy a box of Girl Scout cookies? Oh, well, you're not cute. You don't need to sell any boxes of Girl Scout cookies. And by the time the girls get into junior and senior high school, most of the time they're actually selling cookies for some bigger trip. They've got a bigger reason. So my girls sold cookies. We did a lot of international travel. We did a lot of things. We did a lot of activities. We went to England, Ireland, and Wales. We did Australia, New Zealand. Yes, we sold enough Girl Scout cookies to go to Australia and New Zealand. And then the last trip we did was Italy and Greece. And yes, we sold enough Girl Scout cookies to go to Italy and Greece. We all but like $1,000 of that trip was paid for with Girl Scout cookie sales. And if you ever want to know about it, just DM me and I'll be happy to chat. But, you know, we learned a lot of things, like people would be, you know, it'd be cold, nasty, wet. We sold Girl Scout cookies in the rain. We sold Girl Scout cookies in the snow. We sold Girl Scout cookies in the sun. We sold Girl Scout cookies all kinds of places, right? So it was a really kind of fascinating world. And we learned pretty quickly that, you know, Girl Scout cookies teach you a lot about resiliency. Sales is a lot of resiliency. Asking and asking and asking and asking. We had to ask 10 people for every single person who would buy boxes of Girl Scout cookies. And when the girls got older, they're not teeny tiny, cute little tots anymore. These are big girls. My youngest daughter is almost 5'10". My oldest daughter is also 5'10". So you can imagine when they're older girls and they've got these vests and they've got all their stuff on them and they are asking you to buy Girl Scout cookies. You know, a lot of people are like, well, you're not cute. You're not little. You're not young. I'm not going to buy Girl Scout cookies from you. I'm going to go buy cookies from the little brownie over here. So they learned that they had to keep asking and they had to make a pretty table, and they learned a lot of things. They learned a lot about overcoming sales objection. Well, I'm on a diet. And of course, our council will decide to sell Girl Scout cookies in January. So what do? Well, a lot of people are on diets in January. So my youngest daughter, in her infinite smartassedness, and she could tell you more about it now because she's 22, would say, well, you know what? You can buy a case of Thin Mints and put them in the freezer because Thin Mints freeze super well. And you can eat those Girl Scout cookies when you come off your diet. So overcoming sales objections, right? I don't have any cash on me. Oh, but we take credit cards and we take checks. Would you like to pay that way? So overcoming objections, you know, the upsell, you know, would you like to buy a box of Girl Scout cookies? Sure. Would you like 2 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, or would you like the entire case of Girl Scout cookies? Do you want the little box? Or do you want the big box? And you would be amazed at how many times my daughter managed to sell an entire case of Thin Mints just because she asked somebody to buy an entire case of Thin Mints, because she had no prejudice on they could afford it or they couldn't afford it. So there's so many really, really good life lessons there about, you know, don't assume what somebody's going to do and offer them choices. Don't be afraid to stand out in the cold. Don't be afraid to ask random strangers. Don't be afraid to do what you need to do. But there's also lessons like, you know, make sure you're setting up your cookie booth, or you're going to a good neighborhood. Make sure you're setting up that cookie booth in front of a store that actually gets foot traffic, right? If you're setting up a cookie booth in front of a store that doesn't get any foot traffic, well, obviously, you're not going to get sales. It's not going to magically start to generate foot traffic that it didn't have. So lots of great lessons to be learned there. So we had over 150,000 boxes Girl Scout cookies. Yes, I did not stutter. 150,000 boxes Girl Scout cookies go through our garage. And we learned that if you order 500 cases, they will deliver them to your house. So my youngest daughter ended up in her 12 years through school, earning her Girl Scout Gold Award and selling almost 23,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies because of all of these lessons that she learned. My older daughter, well, she wimped out. She earned her Girl Scout Gold Award and she only sold 10,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. The average in this country is somewhere around 800 boxes of cookies a lifetime for most girls. So my girls frequently sold in a year what a lot of girls sold in their entire Girl Scout cookie career. And lest you think that mom was doing all the sales, no, mom would back the truck up. They would unload the car and I would waddle myself over, plop myself down and hide behind the table while they did their thing. And I would supervise and make sure everybody was safe. But my job was not to sell the cookies and not to deal with customers unless needed. So lots of really great lessons for girls about leadership and opportunities, and lots of things for me to learn as well. And I hope that you have an awesome night. We will chat soon. Let's book a call sometime. Let's chat. Let's see how we can help each other. Thanks. Bye.